So, I have been thinking, and I'm feeling like ranting. So, Assassin's Creed Shadows, they have decided that they are going to have a Assassin's Creed game taking place in Japan. Which is well and all, but a thing that occurred to me is that having a tall African person called Yasuke as a character feels a bit too American, a bit too. It feels a bit out of place. Why would I say this? Well, first of all, it's taking place in Japan. The likelihood of someone from the other side of the world becoming a samurai is very low to non-existent. Yeah, just because getting here would be a nightmare. Then you have a character you know absolutely, almost, virtually nothing about. So that's another thing that makes it. But since Assassin's Creed is you're going through people's genetic memories in a VR device, I shouldn't complain too much about that. It's not so much complaining like a lot of people do. It's more that I'm just curious how they gonna execute this in a way that would make sense. I was essentially a big black man from in Japan in the when the samurai were still around, is standing out like a sore thumb. Assassin's Creed has always been about being a person from the country you're in, assassinating people and blending in somewhat. Yes, a big 2 meter tall man does not blend in with the Japanese population. Not only that, right? So this character is probably not skilled. It's probably going to be more brute force than a highly skilled samurai with a bow and a spear and a horse and everything. So I suppose the stealth thing will be relegated to the little female samurai, the ninja. No wait, I mean shinobi. A shinobi that looks like she is taken straight out of a stage production or James Bond. For all I know, it could be both. I'm not saying it could be cool, and even though Yuske is literally a bull, his helmet has horn and everything. But the thing is, if you're gonna do this sort of character, you need to have people in the town, in the you visit, react to you in a certain way, right? I don't know what. I would expect a lot of prejudice, racism, and looking at people in scary ways, or looking at him as a curio or an oddity that will bring a lot of attention no matter where you go. Would be a good distraction if you want to assassinate someone. Then in the big boy toy that can sticks out like a sore thumb. Aye, well, why not? Why not? It makes sense though, but I know from experience, if you travel to a very homogeneous country and you stick out like a sore thumb, you will become the monkey, the monkey everybody's will be watching and staring at and wanting to take pictures with and all of that. You will not be ignored or overlooked, because you stick out like a sore thumb. And there's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, that thing is well and all, but the other part I have to wonder though is how will they handle combat? Combat in Assassin's Creed is okay. It started off with mostly countering and stabbing people. slowly but surely became more RPG style with stats and everything, right? With people having numbers over the head, finding loot. But since it's an Ubisoft title, you will notice that there will probably be a lot of boring loot, many bandit camps all over the place, and very intrusive UI, like this one. Yes, this is the most beautiful user interface I've seen in a long time. It's practically non-existent. Not to mention how beautiful it handles everything, and how the story is literally plays out like an Akira Kurosawa movie. Which means it has a drama, character, flashbacks, intense duels, and question about honor and what would be considered a shameful display. Also handcrafted scenery. And angry Mongols. And you know, copious amount of death and people, all of that good stuff, yes. And high pressure blood. So, in this game, combat is based around parrying, dodging, and striking, and all of that. And that's the way it should be. But, so I'm just wondering, if you use Ghost as Tsushima as a measuring stick, right? As a gold standard for how to do a cool, stylish, and brutal samurai game. How will generic Ubisoft assassin game hold up to this experience? That's what I'm gonna be curious about. But when you consider the price point, I am not going to buy the game, and the story is probably boring, bland, and uninteresting. And the characters, and the characters on the internet talking about the game will probably be more interesting. It's probably more interesting than the plot itself. But yeah. How will Ubisoft handle this? I do not know. Because Wildlands and Breakpoint not very, not very impressive. Or rather, they're fun, but they are very formulaic, as with anything Ubisoft. And not to mention horse travel. It seems to be very difficult to handle horses these days. There will be more weird boat shenanigans in Assassin's Creed. Very likely. There'll be more stats shenanigans. Ooh, very likely. Is it gonna be light on assassinations? Oh, I can guarantee it. Oh, and there will be bandit camps. Lots and lots and lots of bandit camps. Yeah, you can show it about minority, you know, representation, all of that, and all of that die representation, but quite frankly, it's Ubisoft we're talking about. They don't really have much in the way of creativity or originality or personality these days when it comes to game design. So that makes me just wonder, what will how bad will it get? How preachy will the story be? How irritating will it be? And how girl boss will the female character be? Will she be the kind that goes, "Oh, white privilege, save, oh, white, I'm a savior" mentality? Even though, you know, Japan was never in any need. It was never saved. The only thing, the only thing they added, the West added to Japan was guns. Guns, really. It made Japan a lot more deadly. Guns and trading, which Japan was already. So yeah, they had no problem adapting firearms. So anyone using colonialism and white savior complex as an argument has lost the plot harder than Ubisoft's for storytelling ability. But hey, that's just me ranting, doesn't really make up. But in the end, though, the most interesting part will be to see how the media circus will spin this all up.
知らぬ者はおりません。それにしても聞きしに勝る美しさ。まさかこの目で見られるとは。竹を切る稽古か。懐かしいな。よろしければ一度お試しください。
Oh yeah. What? I don't think. I do not expect Ubisoft
稽古台はいくつもございます。ぜひお探しになってください。
So, and then Ubisoft is gonna produce a game that looks good, has a mediocre story, has okay enough generic open world gameplay. Gonna be the same affair as all of the open world games, really. You know, stealth, combat, exploring, bandit camps. So yeah, it's gonna be exactly as expected. No surprises, no innovations, and that's probably for the best. So even if you pre-order the game based on the trailer alone, you know what you're getting with Ubisoft. So where I'm going with this, I don't know, I just felt like ranting a bit. I'm Jarl and I'm signing out. Like, follow, subscribe me on social media, links down below.